and welcome to Restaurants Hawaii on the ThinkTech platform. My name is Sheryl Matsuoka, the Executive Director of the Hawaii Restaurant Association and the Hawaii Restaurant Association Educational Foundation. Today, you're going to have a treat. We're going to be featuring the YHata and Company, which is one of Hawaii's most charitable companies in the state, as they continue their legacy by pledging $200,000 a year over the next 5 years, $1 million to Hawaii Restaurant Association and the food service industry. Learn today how this generous donation of $1 million will benefit our Hawaii food service industry. Aloha and welcome to Restaurants of Hawaii on the ThinkTech platform. Today, I have two guests, and I'd like to have them introduce themselves, please. Chris, welcome.
Aloha, Sheryl. Thank you for having me. My name is Chris Lee. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for YHata and Company Limited.
Thank you, Chris. And Andy, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. Thank you for having me. My name is Andy Huang. I'm the VP and Chief Operating Officer for L&L Hawaiian Barbecue. Hi.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. And today we're discussing YHata, Russell Hata's pledge to the Hawaii Restaurant Association and to the industry, the food service industry in Hawaii. So Chris, share with us, to our viewers, a little bit about YHata.
Yeah, thank you, Sheryl. So it's a privilege and honor for me to be able to represent our 450 people of YHata, our Hata Ohana, as we call them. This year we made 110 years doing business in Hawaii. We're the largest locally owned independent food service distributor in the state and one of the largest in the country. So we are very fortunate to be able to be a big part of our food service community, our local restaurants, to our schools, to our military, being able to provide them with all of the goods that they need on a daily basis. So, it's just such a pleasure that we've had the good fortune to be able to make this contribution, and on behalf of Russell and his family. And he has been such a generous person and one that really genuinely cares about the community and our people of this state. So just a privilege to be able to share a little bit about our organization.
Thank you, Chris. And you are so right. Gosh, how do I say this? It was YHata's 110-year anniversary. Huge, just huge. And typically, at an anniversary or a birthday, you receive gifts. Not Russell Hata and the YHata Ohana. Instead, they gift to the food service industry this pledge. And it was huge. And I don't know what other word to say, that it's just an amazing, amazing gift at the time of your celebration to, again, gift back to the community. And if anyone knows, right, Russell has been in this industry for a long time, the family, 110 years. So, Chris, what type of challenges are the food service operators still challenged with today?
Well, Andy's probably the best person to ask that question, but we work with our operators, our customers every single day, and so we're firsthand. We're in their operations, understanding not just the labor challenges, but also the rising cost of goods, right? Inflation, and on top of that, you compound that with the rising cost of utilities, increased rent in Hawaii. It's the perfect storm for a disaster for a lot of our operators. And so really our role is to understand those challenges and really help them control what we can, mainly their food costs, identifying the right products for them to use, understanding their biggest challenges, and really, just trying to leverage all of our resources to be able to support and give them the best chance for success. So that's really what we pride ourselves on. All of our teams are committed, from our warehouse guys to our salespeople, all of our marketing people as well, looking for the right products to promote and share those resources and knowledge to our customers.
And you're so true. It's so true. You're right. If anyone knows what our operators, our restaurant operators are faced with, is going to be Andy. So Andy, what are you hearing and what are you experiencing through the L&L franchises?
Yeah, definitely. The restaurant industry is always evolving. Just when you think your business is getting better, now you're rising food costs and labor shortage. It's really hard to find good quality employees, and in the industry, a lot of people wanted to work for like big tech company, right? It sounds so good, but we also need a lot of new generation to support our industry. And the Hawaii, like restaurant industry in Hawaii, is one of the biggest industry, employs so many tens of thousands of people, right? So we wanted to educate like the state, all the people about how to support our restaurant industry, the food costs. And it was really fortunate that we have a company like YHata to support our small mom and pop stores.
You're so right, Andy. You know, gentlemen, if anyone knows the impact that happens to our economy, to our community when our restaurant closes their doors, is Russell. And when we met, we talked about the pandemic and how he observed, we had a few restaurants that has decided to close their doors, not only through the pandemic, but even after, and what the impact of each restaurant when they do close their doors, how the community and the state loses, right? Now it's not only the distributors, because through this endowment fund, it's going to be helping the whole food service industry. And even though they could be, maybe out there looking at who can I support, who can I bring on board to our vendor list, Russell mentioned, right? It impacts a farmer when a restaurant closes their doors. It impacts a fishery because now they're not ordering fish. The distributors, whether it's the paper goods or anything else, it impacts so many different businesses when a restaurant permanently closes their door. And that's one of the wishes, of Russell and the endowment fund, is how we can keep these restaurants open and strong and growing. And that's what the fund is all about. So, Chris, one of the things that you've talked about is maybe bringing on some subject matter experts. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure. The restaurants are not just providing food and cooking, right? I mean, they're business owners. They have accounting and bookkeeping that they need to do. They need to be marketers at the same time. When you're building a restaurant, you need to have planners and designers. There's so many things that go into starting a restaurant business. And once you open your doors, those needs continue. And so, we recognize the need for that, and we recognize the cost for that. And we're just hoping that a little bit of these funds can help offset that, just to give the restaurant a greater chance for success, right? When people are working, with the labor shortages, right? There's very little time for payroll and to balance your books. So if we can help just a tiny bit with that, again, the restaurants have a better chance for success.
Exactly. And Andy, you know firsthand how many different partners in a restaurant, right? Whether it's your bank, whether it's your commercial lease, rent, realtor, whether it's your accountant, whether it's a tax. So, there's all these different businesses that restaurants really rely on. Can you discuss a little bit about what kind of other business partners restaurants need to have on their side in order to be strong and viable?
Yeah, so the support, the support fund, this endowment fund, will help the restaurant to access like subject matter experts who can provide guidance, various topics. For example, like the legal, employee relations, the relations, training, commercial real estate advisory, tax strategies. Also a possible resource for future employees who have been trained in culinary arts. We need more education to the public on how important the restaurant industry is to our state, and the work ethic that the younger generation can learn from working in the industry. flexibility work schedule while going to the college. So all these education, marketing is going to be very useful and helpful for the small, especially small mom and pop store, because when the small mom and pop stores, they don't have a lot of time to go research and go study, watch the news, and all they do is working at the restaurant. They wanted to provide the best food to their customers. That's all they want to do. So for us to come in to help them, that's going to be tremendous help for the small mom and pop stores.
And it's so true, Chris. Many of the restaurateurs, they tell me, they're so busy in the kitchen or maybe placing inventory orders or working with their staff, or even, during the worker shortage, I see, owners of restaurants or general managers actually bussing tables and washing dishes and serving food just to keep those customers happy. So, part of this endowment fund, we're hoping that we can really implement programs that are going to help those restaurateurs that are so busy in their restaurants that they don't really have time to get the knowledge or to reach out to business partners to help them, make sure that their businesses are financially strong and succeeding. So, Chris, do you have any thoughts or any, recommendations to restaurateurs who are watching this as to how this endowment fund will help them in the future?
Yeah, Andy hit it right on the head. It's really about the education, right? Allowing our restaurateurs to, not only address the operational challenges today, and hopefully with time and some of the programs that HRA is working on the educational level, those will cure itself. But really allowing restaurateurs also to continue their own personal education, to gain further experiences in the culinary field or in business. And I think that's really important, that, they're always working to keep their knives sharp, so to speak. And just even for their staff, right? Just allowing those opportunities for their staff to gain those experiences, that I've been fortunate to have to, expand my career elsewhere around the world, right? So, I'm really excited about what the possibilities are with this endowment fund. Russell doesn't want to stop after 5 years. Our commitment is, as long as we can continue to do it, that he wants to continue to contribute to it. And our Ohana is 100% behind that. Our Hata Ohana is 100% behind that. So we look forward to trying to make that happen.
That is so amazing. And you're so right, Chris. The state economic advisor, they mentioned that every time $1 is spent in a restaurant, when somebody orders a meal, that dollar is impacted into our state economy $1.88, because now restaurants can pay their rent, can pay their employees, and maybe hire on more staff, can now pay that farmer for their produce, or that fishery, or that distributor, and that impact, and pay taxes, right? And that supports the whole economy. The food service industry is so important to our economy. So Andy, as you're growing more and more L&Ls out there, you tell us what you feel is the forecast for the future as more L&Ls come on board to the family.
Yeah, so we're really fortunate, to grow to this level, to going to expand it to the mainland too. We're continuing to support local here at home, but also expanding, our Hawaii aloha to over the whole country and over the world. So both Chris and I, we started in the restaurant industry and started as busboy. We actually worked together way back, 20 plus years ago. And we've seen the industry evolve and how much challenges even back then we're facing until now we're still facing. And back then we never had this endowment. I wish we had this endowment back then, right? So and really, if a restaurant closed down, it affects a wide range of suppliers. Employees needs to find another job. Customer no longer have a place to dying. They have to find alternatives, right? And less options. All these chain reactions, right? So we really don't want to see our one of our favorite restaurant to close down. And like L&L, we evolve from a small mom and pop to a big organization, but each individual operator are still operating like mom and pop style. So when as working in the corporate office, we see the challenges, and we're really glad to see YHata stepping up to help us to grow our industry in Hawaii.
Oh, thank you. Now, I didn't know the two of you actually knew each other. I mean, you worked together? Is that what it was?
Yes, we did.
That was a long time ago, Andy.
Yes.
25 years. I was thinking about it this morning.
Oh yeah, 25 years, man. Yeah. Busboy, server, we did everything.
I didn't know that. Oh, it's so serendipity, right? That the two of you are on the show talking about this wonderful gift that YHata is providing the food service industry. And you're right. I also have been in the food service industry for many, many years. And the Hawaii food scene has definitely changed. And we just talked about some of the changes. If anything, during the pandemic, it taught us is that, restaurants do need also, online ordering apps or software that helps them streamline their inventory process so they can quickly process the next inventory order, right? So some of those ways that maybe YHata, do you want to talk about it, Chris? Some of the ways that YHata is helping the restaurants, especially in their inventory ordering systems, which is, now quicker. It has to be quicker because long gone are the days that I used to take inventory with a notepad and a pencil.
Yeah, it's all about efficiency, right? The more efficient that we can be as an organization, the better services that we can provide our customers. And at the same time, the more efficient we can help our customers, the more time they can focus on their customers. So, we've made a big effort to look at new technology. We're upgrading our systems to be able to accept orders via web-based apps. We're looking at shelf-to-sheet inventory guides, order guides that customers can take from their, what used to be paper and pencil, right to their smartphones. So those are all plans that we actually have in motion and are looking forward to introducing that to our customers. But we have to continuously evolve. Russell has the foresight to know that we have to be at the forefront of that if we want to continue on to the next 100 years. So really grateful to have his commitment to that, and again hoping that will help our restaurateurs become more efficient on their end, and ultimately continue to contribute to our economy, right? So it's not just about the technology, but it's about the products that we're able to source as well. We are searching globally for the right products for our customers. Again, understanding what their needs are and making sure we're providing the right product at the right cost to them. So we have teams dedicated to that, and that's what keeps us growing. So really exciting to be a part of this organization at this time.
That's so great, and I know that you're sourcing all kinds of different, really unique types of foods too to provide to our visitors and our locals and our community. Because each restaurant, if anything, I saw recently is the emerging of all different types of restaurants that I've never seen before. And especially on the menus, as you know, guys, my husband is vegan, so more vegan offerings. I'm seeing a lot of that. And I do see also a lot more local produce I go to the chef zone. So a lot more local produce over at the chef zone too. Chris, you want to talk about a little bit of that, the local farmers?
Yeah, we do bring in a lot of product. I'm not going to lie to you. It's part of the challenge that we face, being in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, as a distributor servicing the schools and military, as well as our independent, locally owned restaurants. It is important. But at the same time, we also recognize the importance of working with our local producers, right? Not just the farmers, but other local businesses, producers of cheese, beef, poultry, eggs, etc. Right? We are working and continuing to support them by bringing in products for them to support our restaurants, because that is an important part as well for a restaurant, right? Making sure that they're continuing to support local as well. So, it's not just YHata, but it's very encouraging to see a lot of other distributors as well, from our produce people to our other broadline distributors, also supporting the idea of sustainability and supporting local. It takes a village, and if we want to get there, it's not going to be predicated on just one person doing it. This is where our competitiveness, kind of falls to the wayside, and we focus on doing what's good for Hawaii and Hawaii's people and economy. So, really, again, an encouraging time to be a part of the industry, and just, I'm really excited and seeing what Andy's guys are doing too, right, to support local in their LNL restaurants. I mean, that's huge, right?
Exactly. Andy, you want to touch on a little bit of that? Because I've seen that too over at the LNLs. And then also, talking about vegan, you have that vegan musubi.
Yeah, so I think the growing consciousness about the environments, and so more and more people wanted to have options, vegetarian or vegan options. So we brought in this a plant-based musubi. So it tastes and looks just like a spam musubi, but it's vegan. So I mean, give people extra options, right? The restaurant world is evolving, like you say. We need to accommodate different type of eaters, yeah, foodies. And then also, just want to touch base on this endowment fund will really help mom and pop shops, so that give them extra resources and help them, assist them for the day-to-day operation. Other than that, the rising food costs, and also to help them to understand, to maybe educate them on the importance of the technology, right? So now all we're hearing everywhere every day is AI. Like, what is AI, right? Well, what does the AI to do with my barbecue chicken, or a chicken katsu, right? So the mom and pop operator, they're just focusing on cooking, but don't forget about evolving with the society, with evolving with the technology. So we are here to help them, to educate and be one of a support. They can reach out to, as a Hawaii Restaurant Association grow to thousands of members. This is what we're here to offer them, to give them advice for.
Exactly, because the Hawaii Restaurant Association is here to support the whole food service industry. And you're right, Andy, everybody is talking about how they can utilize technology, as Chris mentioned, to streamline, to make everything more efficient, especially when it comes to operations in a business. In general, restaurants, it's just bottom line, it's a business, and it needs to be profitable in order to keep their doors open. So, Chris, is there anything else that I missed that you really wanted to mention about this endowment fund?
Yeah, I think the big thing is that food is a big part of who we are in Hawaii. It's a big part of our culture. It represents all the diverse people that are part of our state. And one of the things that the endowment fund is also intended to do is support cultural preservation through culinary arts, right? And it shouldn't be a financial reason why a chef or a restaurant owner or their team members couldn't broaden their comfort level and experiment and try new things, whether it be going out to a local farm for the day or taking a trip to a ranch on the Big Island. And we really want this endowment fund to support that idea that food is a big representation of who we are as a people of Hawaii. So, it's not just about the challenges, but also about the opportunities for the future. And that's another thing that I think is very exciting for this fund to support.
You're so right. We're just talking about that, how our food is our culture. Our food represent all the different cultures in the state. And everybody, it's a melting pot, right? And when you come to Hawaii, and Andy, you talk about, L&L and the spam musubi. Well, it's not spam, right? It's a plant-based musubi. People come here and they said, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Just think of it as a breakfast sushi." And they have one bite and they just love it. And they don't know that it's plant-based, Andy. They just think it's, a piece of spam. but everybody represents, all the different restaurants represent all their different cultures. And that's what makes Hawaii and our food service industry so special. You're so right, Chris. So, Andy, is there anything you want to discuss before we wrap up the show? What did I miss?
Well, you pretty much got everything. It just, Hawaii is a melting pot. We have so many different cultures. One of the most diverse, city and state in the whole world. And we are just like our food, L&L food is, we have chicken katsu that's like Japanese influence, and we have the barbecue chicken where the short rib is like Korean, Chinese, Portuguese. It's everything different. That's what makes Hawaii cuisine. Like Hawaii cuisine, that's how we differentiate, define our cuisine. So just glad that we have this endowment that we can share, we can support, and HK. I think the biggest part is the education of the general public. So that's what we need to continue to do for.
Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you so much for being with me today. So in closing, again, we just want to give a shout out and a thank you, just a sincere thank you to Restaurant Hata and the Hata Ohana for being one of Hawaii's most charitable companies and continuing their legacy by pledging this $1 million, $200,000 over the next 5 years, and hoping to go on. This is really going to impact the food service industry and keep the industry strong. When I spoke to Russell, he said, this is all that he wants to do is how do we support our local restaurants and businesses? And that's what this endowment fund will do. Again, my name is Sheryl Matsuoka, the Executive Director of the Hawaii Restaurant Association and the Hawaii Restaurant Association Educational Foundation. The Hawaii Restaurant Association is the voice of Hawaii's restaurants and food service industry. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you so much for watching ThinkTech Hawaii. If you like what we do, please like us and click the subscribe button on YouTube and the follow button on Vimeo. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and donate to us at thinktechhawaii.com. Mahalo.